Good afternoon and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Toxic Happy Hour, where we are toxic towards scams that delay the adoption of global sound money. Today with your host, PUBLORD.HODL and Danish HODL in the house. PUBLORD, what are you drinking today?
Hey, you know me. I like my IPAs, so a nice Indian Pale Ale, almost over full. But hey, it's better than that than having a few centimeters of foam up there, right?
It's looking really great. Which reminds me of, so last night I ordered sushi from a restaurant and didn't have any. I ordered an Asahi pint because I wanted that draft Asahi with my sushi. And it arrived. The guy asked for ID. I show ID. I get inside. I look, and there's no pint. They forgot the beer, man. Can you believe it?
I can't believe you don't have beer on hand. How do you let this?
Well, I wasn't home. I wasn't home there. So it was in my fridge. I have beer in my fridge. Is that a local IPA or where you drink?
Yeah, this one's one of the local craft beers, but it's actually it actually ranks very high nationally, wins quite a few awards in all the competitions. So, yeah,
nice. All right, so here we are, Toxic Happy Hour. We're talking Bitcoin. So one thing I noticed, you know me, I'm pretty busy over the weekend. I don't have time to be 24/7 on Bitcoin Twitter as much as Monday to Friday. I saw some things about Michael Saylor, and people were being skeptical there. Did he say something about KYC, or what was the situation? What's do you know exactly what happened? What's going on?
Yeah, so I mean, you can pull up his site. Basically, it was one of those things of everyone should. There may be some regulation, especially everyone plays nice as we move forward with this. I mean, look, man, I'm as toxic as the next person, but I didn't read a whole lot into it like most people did. I just like, if his view is, for spreading this worldwide to billions and billions of people, there's going to be some sort of regulation. And when you have the type that are just more of, we want to burn the system to the ground, and this is anarchy, and Bitcoin's the only way. I think his choice of words weren't perfect. I think what he was just trying to express is the quickest, most painless way will be through some sort of regulation. And look, let's be honest. There's going to be people, they'll never want to know how to do a hardware wallet. Okay, all they're going to do is like, look, let me just buy this shit on the exchange. Okay, and they hold it for me. So I see where he's coming from, and I would also add, he's got two stacks that are quite different. Okay, he's got his own private stuff where he could be hardcore and do this, but at the end of the day, guess what? He's got shareholders' money tied up in this, and he's got to pay attention to that to those regulations, I think.
Right. I mean, so from what I saw, checking out his feed, it was mainly. It seemed like he's saying, "Look, we expect that there will be some level of KYC and regulations. Like we can't avoid that." He wasn't saying, "Let's have more KYC. Let's do more regulations. Like love this state." Love your government. Let's have more government. That wasn't how I was reading it. It was more. He was saying, look, there's, we probably can't avoid it. So, you got to learn how to deal with it and take your precautions. I may be wrong, but I didn't read something into it and I'm toxic not as toxic as the next guy. I didn't read into it anything that made me like Saylor less. But that being said, as I said, I didn't have a ton of time to exactly make sure I saw everything said. So, but
yeah. So let me just jump in on that, because that's the other thing I said too. I mean, look, this dude has put Bitcoin in 2020. He lit it on fire. Okay, he's never shilled any kind of shitcoin, as we would say. I'm sorry, dirt coin for your show.
That's fine.
He's pumped in between his own personal wealth and the companies. That just dropped $500 million into Bitcoin. I mean, he gets a pass from me if he has a tweet that people take out of context, because at the end of the day, he's absolutely right. We, on the one side, everyone keeps asking when moon, all right, and for it to moon, what companies do you want to come in? People want their Apples, their Googles, their Amazons. Well, guess what? There's going to be some sort of regulation at some point. Keep your stash. We understand, but he's absolutely right. In a way, there's going to have to be some sort of regulation for some of the gyms and arm ramps. If not, hell, there's always going to be an underground. There's always going to be a way for people to get Bitcoin and keep it off the exchange. So yeah, it's a tough one. We're
You know
we're going to
what?
go through growing pain.
I think I found the tweet on his feed while we were talking. Let me
Yeah.
just pull it up. We can read it,
Right.
and then we can just discuss it. Let's just there we go. All right. So
Yeah.
let's take first the one that he retweets. He says Michael Saylor spoke. Well, that's BTC Times at BTC that says Michael Saylor spoke to BTC Times editor Elaine about why he believes that the best way for Bitcoin to become a widely adopted monetary network is incrementally and pragmatically while in harmony with political system, yada yada. Okay, so I haven't read exactly what he means by that specifically, in that they refer to an article there. I can see underneath Nick Szabo, one of the usual suspects for being Satoshi Nakamoto, either individually or in the group, underneath writes requirements for what? Are you proposing specific changes to Bitcoin? That's what I don't see, that he proposes something specifically, but at least that's a
No.
question from the Exago. But again, the fact that he's asking a question also underlines that he didn't say something specifically that he wanted to change for
Right.
Bitcoin. And his tweet itself, for Bitcoin to emerge as the world's monetary network and empower billions of people, we will need to embrace a diverse set of evolving requirements from individuals, institutions, and governments with optimism, patience, humility, and good cheer. So,
Yeah.
um, I mean, no, I will say no one is guilty until they are, convicted or proven guilty. I don't see, honestly, anything else in that tweet than he's saying there will be, we can
Yeah.
expect requirements to come, and we have to deal with it optimistically and, practically.
Yeah.
And not necessarily is saying that we should, encourage requirements. He's just saying, look, they're going to be there, and we're going to have to deal with it. That's how I read it.
Yeah.
How do you see it?
The exact same way, man. I look, at the end of the day, like I say, we can't have it both ways. You can't have all these major corporations and stuff come in, and we're going to be naive to think that they're not going to try to sort of regulate this new kind of currency. Well, what the great thing is, you don't have to do it. Okay, um, you don't have to use Coinbase. Okay, people can use BISC. They can use other ways to get their Bitcoin. Those ways are still there. You don't have to keep your Bitcoin at the exchange. Of course, what do we always say? Not your keys, not your coin. That's what I just put out. So there's going to be the people, though, that will see these Bitcoin games. They're not going to have the wherewithal or even the technical know-how in many cases to keep themselves. There's going to be regulations for them to buy. They're going to want to do it the easiest way possible. And the easiest way possible, will, just like anything else, you get a bank account. You got to show your ID. You got to fill out some forms. Well, that's next in line if we're talking worldwide adoption. That's just a natural next step. So I thought it was just a pragmatic tweet. I mean, I guess what he's saying is, do we fight it? Do we bring that toxicity level in to a point where you just scare people off in a way of Bitcoin, of companies, even like, who are these? What is this crowd? That's it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm with you. I didn't see anything bad with it, really.
Right. Yeah, I don't see any reason to be really hating on Michael Saylor based on that. It maybe opens the door that there could be something, but he didn't suggest he didn't suggest any changes to Bitcoin. He didn't say government is good. He's just saying it's coming, as I read it. So yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I think we can. We're in the same boat there. We'll see how it develops in Bitcoin Twitter if there's anything else coming out. But I just don't see him being guilty of proposing more government, more KYC. You're saying that KYC is good, KYC is necessary. We need more of it. Otherwise, you can't have your roads. Was that George Gammon or Roll Paul saying we need KYC so you can have your roads and pay your taxes?
Yeah, I think it was Raul Paul.
Raul Paul, yeah. So I'm not really buying. I don't have a problem there yet at all. I'll happily accept if I get an invitation together with you to the $100,000 Bitcoin
Yeah.
yacht party. Sorry, I don't have a problem there yet. And furthermore, just want to apologize for starting 1 hour later than what I was saying the entire week last week because I had to watch a football game in Denmark that last week I didn't know they were playing at this hour on a Monday. Usually they play Sunday, and that's the last thing I want to talk about with that game because it didn't really go as intended. Then MG Smith, I believe, dialing in on YouTube from Scotland. So apparently the World Cup qualifier groups have been decided, and Denmark got Scotland in the World Cup qualifier. So bring it on, Anders. MG Smith 4 says, absolutely look forward to that. Actually, back when I went to high school in Australia, my English coach was a really good football player or soccer player. He was Scottish, and we played. I am a defender, and he was a striker. And once students played the teachers, and he was vicious. He was good, man.
Did you just did you just call him English and Scottish in the same sentence? You just said my English teacher. Run this back.
Yeah. An English teacher. He was teaching us English. He was an
okay.
English teacher, not a math teacher, but an English teacher. He was Scottish. Yeah, nice try. I see how.
You better get that cleared quick because that chat room. Because when you think, listen, you call a Scottish English guy. Oh my God, we're having trouble.
Which I didn't. He was an English teacher from Scotland. He wasn't teaching us Scottish. The subject was English. But nice try. I like it because so many times, Poppy, God knows, so many times you've been nailed in mistalking, like saying words like crypto and.
I love crypto.
So, anyways, Michael Saylor tweet out of the way. What else is going on in the land of Bitcoin, Poppy? Bitcoin seems to continuously knock on the, stay in that $19,000 level. Are we talking of what do you think will happen? Like, okay, disclaimer: we know nothing of technical analysis. Both Poppy and I look at the fundamentals and have phenomenal expectations to this bull run. But for the fun of it, what do you think is happening here short term?
I honestly just we were talking our day with Brady, and I just think there's a massive $20,000 sell wall, and I think there are some major players that are scooping it up because this price is stuck, at 19,000. A good week now, I believe. I just think people are accumulating, and if it's not just it's the hardcore hodlers. To be quite honest, I've been emboldened. When you start at 17,000, you ride it back down. You're you're at $4,000, 3,400, and you're still believing. But now once it's back up here, guess what? I buy at 19,000 with more conviction than I bought at 4,000. To be honest with you, so I think you just have more people that are seeing like, look, this could be it. This could be it. And they're just topping off. They're topping off. People are just, because after 20,000, we just, there's just open pastures ahead, just open land. No one knows.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Max Kaiser keep talking about it's open air towards 28,000. I think he worked out
yeah,
that as a intermediate target.
yeah,
I'm not sure if I exactly buy into the that specific reasoning. Honestly, don't really recall the details, but I mean, overall, absolutely agree with him that once 20,000 is reached, which is a number that has been in people's mind for 3 years now,
yep,
then it is open air. And also, I like what you're saying that you're buying it now at 19,000 with more conviction than at the bottom, because when we were at 4,000, there was
yeah,
a lot of direction was downwards, and when direction is downwards, you don't know if you're catching a falling knife or if you're actually buying the bottom. But
yeah,
now we went up to 20,000. Well, just shy of
yeah,
20,000. Actually, set a new record on a new all-time high on Bitstamp. That is as many seen as their official Bitcoin price. That was 19,666
right,
three
right,
years ago, and now it went to 19,800. So we already have a new all-time high on Bitstamp. But the fact that we came up there and then we took that dive to just above 16,000 and came back up, it just makes, in my opinion, and my humble and short-term technical analysis opinion, a lot more solid, because we took that dive, we got rid of some weak hands. The floors, we went down and set the
yeah,
floor at the lower levels, and now we are back up, which means we probably already did take that dive, and we're probably only looking upwards from here, in my opinion. And also worth noting, I think, is in that last bull run, we had, I believe it was 6 corrections of 30%, right? 6.
mm-hmm.
We didn't even have 20 here, which also is supported by events like Michael Saylor going out and saying, we just bought $50 million worth more Bitcoin at a
Yeah,
price
yeah,
19,200 something.
yeah,
So it's we have some solid buyers that find that got it and now are using Bitcoin as Bitcoin is intended to use, to store value. And he doesn't care if it's 20,000 because he believes it's going to go to the million. So it's just about, if you have fiat, convert it, buy Bitcoin while you can, this cheap. Doesn't matter if it's going to go to 17 or 23. This is cheap. Enough said from
yeah,
my side. Let's try
yeah.
and give the word to Puppy a little bit here.
Yeah, and that's another point. When people, man, how quickly you can turn on a dime. Everyone saw, Trace Meyer, maybe the grand escape, as it were. But either way, the community, you shill a shitcoin, you get kicked out. So what Michael put out to me is absolutely nothing. And this is a guy who literally, at a near all-time high, just dumped 50 million in. You don't think he has conviction? He just dropped 50 million when we're pushing the all-time high, man. So yeah, anyone, look, the guy gets a pass from me until he starts shilling or selling out or anything else. But yeah,
I don't think that's ever going to happen. And again,
yeah,
I just want to say, like, I saw him mentioned as a fallen hero. To me, he hasn't done anything yet. But
no,
I'm happy to stand corrected if someone can tell me what exactly was wrong. I didn't see the problem there. Yeah, that guy has he has conviction.
I agree. By the way, if Brady is watching this again, I found the Jayhawk table for him.
Oh,
I got his Jayhawks up there. Yeah. This was the table I was hoping to get for his interview.
right.
So
Yeah,
so hey,
we had. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, man, this is cool. Like this all started with just me and you talking about nothing really. Well, we talk about Bitcoin, but we had no plan. But this is great that we finally get a one-on-one again, because we've had some great guests on the show last week, and man, so yeah, when you go from John Vallis and Ali from Tahini's and Brady Swenson to, man, get Jeff Booth and Dare Gigi this week. It's
and
insane.
and Greggy.
And Greggy.
But
We're doing
Greggy,
it. Yeah.
if you're out there, Greggy, as you understand, like if we have time, we'll squeeze you in, Greggy. Okay.
Yeah.
No, he's coming on hopefully after tomorrow.
Oh.
I'm just teasing Greggy here. I think what people need to know is we give each other a lot of heat. It's part of
Oh yeah.
what we do in Toxic Happy Hour. It's part of what we do in our Twitter little group chat there with these meme beasts, of which there's so many. And Greggy is there. He is actually out there. Yeah. So Greggy, we'll see if you can fit you in tomorrow. Like once one of the Jeff Booth is finished. No. Joke aside. Greggy actually sent me some really good questions and commentary for Jeff Booth that I will go through a couple of times and try and see if I can get some of those questions in there. I'm actually trying to get really prepared for tomorrow, because having Jeff Booth on is a freaking deal, and that's tomorrow 11 a.m. Pacific time, and that is one Toxic Happy Hour that won't be moved from us. And hopefully Greggy will be on there for the after party, and we can have a little rundown and discussion of the gold delivered by Jeff Booth in his visit.
I'm sure meme master Mr. Greg Zodge will have plenty of commentary and feedback for us.
Oh, Greggy, Puppy just called you meme master.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Excellent. And it's there so he can record it and replay it again and again in a little meme on Twitter. So another topic, as people know, we pretty much come unprepared just to talk Bitcoin on our Toxic Happy Hour, and then see what comes to mind. So there's a question from HODL earlier in the chat, another of our great memesters, asking if you're stacking bits. I have my opinion on that, and Puppy, I'd love to hear your take on this whole discussion about should it be called bits, should it be called sats, and these bits exactly how big are they again? Like how many sats in one bit?
Right. So I think I remember this semi-argument, man, it must have been probably a year or two ago, but I love it because the fact that we're having these arguments on Twitter, that's what tells me that Bitcoin's boring and is getting ready to do something, because we're just watching it at 19,000. So we come up with this stuff. But hey, man, always cheers to Adam Back, one of the legends. But yeah, he said, in my opinion, it's time to revisit this again, the difference between a bit and a sat. Well, apparently, a Satoshi, the amount, it was supposed to be called a bit. So there's supposed to be 100 million bits in one Bitcoin. And a Satoshi was going to be like a bit cent, which is just 1 cent, 1 cent, I believe it is.
So it's meant to be a little bit.
The sat is the tiniest
of a Bitcoin.
Yeah, a tiniest bit. Yeah.
Oh wait, no. Here, no. I think you have that wrong, Puppy. RD is saying that there's 100 sats in one bit. Or was that
right? But 100 million, 100 million bits in a Bitcoin. You see?
Yeah.
Sorry, million. Yeah, 100 million. Yeah. So basically, sats are really bits in his mind. They should be called bits, not sats.
But okay. So that was But as I understand it, there are people, including both RD, it's on the screen, and Lapra in the chat, saying that 1 bit was meant to be equal 100 sats. So this denomination that is being discussed is whether, I guess that there should be 1 million bits on a Bitcoin and then 100 sats on 1 bit. So it's not just the name, it is the unit. And while you just consider that, I just want to give my input. I mean, you had a chance to answer it, and obviously you came absolutely unprepared,
Good.
just like me, to this discussion.
I was expecting to talk about it.
So
I don't care
that's
what you
what it's
call them.
like. That's what it's like when we just throw some topics out there and are not prepared. My take on this is: look, SAT is already established. I
Yep.
think it's a great name. I don't see a reason to start talking about bits when we have SATs. Because also remember that Bitcoin is deflationary because there's a fixed supply of Bitcoin, and the world GDP will go up. Things priced in SATs, hence Bitcoin, um, will continue to get cheaper as we
Yeah.
produce more with economies of scale, increased production methods or improved production methods.
Well,
As price will be deflationary on goods and services, I like to
yeah.
use the smallest um, item, and I don't have a problem if a coffee or whatever you want to buy is like 540 sats. The next month, next year, go down there, it's 520 sats. I have no idea what amount of value I just threw out there, but I don't have a problem with having just sats instead of having X bit and then a certain amount of sats. Let's just do sats. That's my take on that. Now you had a chance
Yeah.
to revisit the facts, Puppy. So maybe you
Yeah.
can tell us what you think.
Well, the fact is, Adam Back actually retweeted my meme. So when you get a retweet from Adam Back, maybe I'm onto something. Maybe I'm doing something right in life. Okay, for once.
Puppy, you're doing something right, and we are here to try and
And
figure out what that is. No, you're doing the
right,
memeing right for sure, but I think that
yeah,
one sat is 100. Sorry, one bit is 100 sats. I don't think it's sat bit parity. It's about whether we should
yeah,
introduce another unit, a third unit apart from Bitcoin and sats. And I
yeah,
just honestly think we should focus on sats. But now knowing the facts being
yeah,
presented to you, Puppy, by RD uh, and Labra, one
yeah,
being 100 sats. And the example from Lapra here, that if a coffee is 125 sats, that is one bit and
yes,
25 sats. I just think we should call it 100, just focus on the sats and say a coffee this year is 125 sats. Next year it's going to be 120 sats because prices go down when you're in a Bitcoin sound
yeah.
money world, which is why it is going to be great for the bottom of society that don't have those assets that are being artificially inflated by artificially
Okay,
low interest rate, artificial monetary expansion. So I like Sats. I'm for Sats only.
yeah.
What do you say? And
No,
Greggy is saying RD and Labra are right, and if Greggy is saying that, maybe they're right. Maybe that is a caution there. If he's saying they're right, maybe they're wrong. But no, I think Greggy is right that they are right.
oh yeah, he called it a million, right, instead of 100 million. Got it now. I see it now. Yep. Anyway, so yeah, the big news here is Adam Back retweeted me. Let's take that home with us. When you guys are sitting there circle jerking about what's a bid or a sat, I'm getting retweeted.
All right, so here's yet another
Yeah.
video that is not going on eToro.
They
But
never
honestly,
should. They never
no,
should.
as I said in one of the happy hours last week, I even gave up on like paying attention throughout the toxic happy hour to see, oh, this is
Yeah.
presentable. I can put this on eToro. Like I know that is not
No.
possible anymore. I sometimes put up some videos from early on where I was just sitting and explaining, a Bitcoin topic. But the toxic happy hour is too toxic.
Hey,
It's no good. Can't be.
would, would you ever introduce your wife to your girlfriend? Hell no. So why in the world would you introduce anything from Twitter to eToro?
Right. You got it. I'm doing it indirectly, but enough about that. All right. So, but Poppy,
Yeah.
knowing that one bit is 100 sats,
Yeah.
do you like if things are denominated in bits and then dot X amount of sats, or would you like would just focus on the sats?
Yeah. I honestly have, I don't care what you call it. Call it Sally. I don't care. To me, it's all about Bitcoin in general. The names to me, if we're fighting over names, it's a good sign. Like I say, I got no dog in the fight, but hell, we spent a year or two trying to hashtag Sats the standard, you know, and trying to get around this unit bias. Yeah, so hell, I don't care what you call it, honestly.
Right. Yeah. So you don't care, and I'm all for
Uh,
Sats. As
yeah,
Greggy
Sats is
says,
fine.
that's the standard. I don't think we should start confusing things. No need. Sats is gonna be all right. So that's that. That's done. We have first female ever to be in the Bitcoin Toxic Hour chat. Camila is back here. Let me see if I can find her. There it is on the screen. And Greggy wasn't too happy about that because he was just getting a lot of compliments. And now, of course, the attention is away from Greg. What else is
Yeah.
going on in Bitcoin land, Poppy? We've now discussed Michael Saylor. We don't have a problem with that. Since
Oh,
you don't have an opinion on Sats versus Bits, we're going to go with
yeah.
my opinion, which is Sats is the standard. What else is going on?
Well, the big stuff, of course, Raoul Paul. And you saw, I don't know if you saw over the weekend, basically saying that he has an advantage if you just, yeah, send those shitcoin ideas my way, basically. Oh, again, he can't, but
No,
he
no,
can,
it's
I
fine.
mean, but it's
This is
interesting.
the
I mean,
raw show. We are
he bring,
toxic, so we're
well,
raw here.
he brings so much, he knows he's going to get, pummeled on Twitter, but that's good for him, right? All good news. Um, so he's taking the spotlight. Of course, everyone's piling on about this. Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on Raoul Paul and his sort of Bitcoin journey?
Come again?
What are your thoughts on Raoul Paul? I mean, when he comes out with saying things like paying for roads or um, he comes up with all these outlandish takes, which I think he just does mostly or I'm warming up to XRP. I mean, how much of that is trolling versus how much do you think he's sort of stacking on the side and is a Bitcoiner?
No, no, Raul, no doubt, I think he was the one who said he was irresponsible long. No doubt,
Yeah,
stacking heavily on Bitcoin, as he should be. The difference
yeah,
with him is that he's embracing government, he's embracing KYC, he's
yeah,
saying it's a great thing, and he's allocating to shitcoins as well, and saying they have a place. The one thing I noticed, I think it was a clip from Palm's interview with him where he's saying, if you call it shitcoin, I think you're dumb and close-minded,
yes, of
and
course.
I think there is an opportunity. But my opinion is, look, he has a platform where there's just more money if you also take in that whole, shitcoin audience and the shitcoin advertising. And to me,
Yeah,
that's what he's trying to do, which makes him part of the problem. If you capitalize on scams one way or the other, you
mm,
are a scammer, because that's what
yeah,
scammers do. They make money from scams. If you
mm,
build it as an engineer, or if you promote it by holding backs and then push it to your followers, or if you take in
uh,
advertising money from it, you're a scammer, in my opinion.
oh, and that just dovetails nicely into where I was going next. Your girl, fit dance, going full chivalry.
Yeah. All right.
I know. I don't
So
want to give a lot of exposure, but that's the same concept of, yeah, you want to pay the bills, and I know you want to pay the bills. You got bills to pay. However,
so yeah, you have this girl who is creating TikTok videos and videos for Twitter and this and that from what looks like a mansion somewhere in Latin America. And then she tweets, "Oh, I did this video for this scam because a girl's gotta eat." Are you kidding me? If you promote scams, you
yeah,
are a scammer. You help facilitate people that unfortunately haven't done enough research. You help facilitate that they send their money to the people that created these scams. and I can't accept that. And by the way, so a note on Britfit Dance. She once, like initially with the first video, the bull, she tweeted or she sent a DM to a lot of people who have the DMs open, including me, saying, "Hey, retweet this, please retweet my video." I didn't. I looked at it, I was like, "What the hell is this?" Before everyone thought it was funny,
Yeah.
but I didn't retweet it. And then later, when everyone found her, quite entertaining and becoming an institution or a meme in Bitcoin land, I thought, you know what, it would be funny to have her on the Toxic Happy Hour and just, let our audience interact with her. So she had asked me a favor, hey, retweet
Yeah.
my video, and then I DM'd her and said, why don't you come on Toxic Happy Hour, and then you can, plug your video production. This is before she was
Yeah.
involved with shitcoins, because I don't bring people on, if I can avoid it, which I can. That has anything to do with scams. And her response was, send me an email. Okay, I sent the email saying, all right, do you want to come on the Toxic Happy Hour? I'm sure our audience would find it entertaining. And the reply was, we can talk about it. For us to have a conversation about what you just wrote, and this is like a standard answer, send me $50 worth of Bitcoin for me to even talk to you about coming on the show, let alone I'm sure she wanted money to be on it. Are you kidding? Like,
Yeah.
we have
Hey.
our audience on the Toxic Happy Hour. We have golden knowledge like this coming
Yeah.
on for free because he wants to share important insights with the world. He's not
Yeah.
charging. He's giving us his time, this little show, and
Yep.
and our crew here, valuable lesson. And then we have someone who makes a video singing "Bull, Bull, Bull," wanting to get paid to even talk
Yeah.
about coming up. Just get out of here. So I'm not
Hey.
surprised. She's in it to make money. And now I'll be quiet and give you a chance to say something.
No, I'm just waiting for old Greggy to just send us a request for $50 to appear tomorrow evening. We'll see.
Right.
No, you're right. You're right. I mean, you're imagine this is out of a bear market. All new personalities, everything.
Your sound went down a little bit there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
you're back. You're back.
Yeah, yeah. No, so I'm when we're going through a bear market or coming out of a bear market, you're already getting these personalities. I can't imagine, once Bitcoin pumps to 50,000, 100,000, the amount of crap that's just going to come onto Bitcoin Twitter and the shilling and everyone posturing. It's going to be crazy.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I saw it in 2017 how all these ICOs were pumping the scene, shilling their backs to get money from people that they converse with all type of buzzwords like privacy, faster blockchain like Litecoin, the world's biggest pump and dump ever, in my opinion, which makes Charlie Lee the world's biggest pump and dumper ever. And he gets a pass from not the entire community, but he got a lot of free passes back then. And the call for diversification, we saw it in 2017. As you're saying, once the FOMO starts, once people smell money, when I say money, I mean purchasing power. Dirty fiat is not worth anything in the long run. But all this pumping of purchasing power and desire to take purchasing power away from people by shilling their dirty bags. So I'll call from now on. I think shitcoins I might call it dirty bags. And Camilla has a great point here. She's just commenting on what Raul Paul said on, I believe it was Palm's podcast. He called us dumb and closed-minded because we don't embrace these scams. And she says, she goes on to say, I say we are just more educated, and our mission in this is to not make money from scams. And that's exactly what I'm saying. I agree with that. Camilla.
Yeah,
Back to you, because I do talk
yes.
a lot.
No. So listen, and I'm curious about this. If anyone has drawn it out on a long enough timeline, any coin that has gone up against Bitcoin on a long enough timeline is less in value than Bitcoin. So I'm curious, what is the longest a coin has lasted in terms of being more valuable than Bitcoin? What, 4 years? Because you'll get new coins that are going to pump in value, and then they crash. They all do. We got 7,000 coins. Some will pump and beat them, but anything I think it's over 4 years old versus Bitcoin just crashes. At the end of the day, that's it. It's over. Yeah.
Amen. Agree to that.
Yeah.
So they might, since they come off zero, once they launch and they come off zero, of course they can show in their pumping phase a better return than Bitcoin, because anything coming off zero has pretty phenomenal value growth. But it's a very good point you raised. And I remember, I think Tone Vase was talking about that, go back 4 years and look at the market cap top 10. It's always different coins, because they have a life cycle. They pump their dirty bags, they get your Bitcoin away from you, and then they crash and burn and just consistently lose value to Bitcoin. And yes, of course, there'll be new scams arriving, and then during the early pump phase, they can say we have a better return than Bitcoin. But over time, once they've been through that pump and dump, got people excited and got the BTC, the Bitcoin from people, they just slide into hell. They slide into eternity as worth nothing.
I remember when Ripple was over $3. You remember that spike? $3. I remember Ripple, I think, hit $3.50 as a high, and I'm looking like. And it dropped. I mean, we were down at now it's what, 12 cents. So Bitcoin is within what, 5% of the all-time high. Where's Ripple? Yeah, it's pumped up to 60 cents, 70 cents, whatever, but nowhere close to what it was. Nowhere close where what it was in terms of Bitcoin. So look, you can only spend so much time warning people about these coins. At the end of the day, everyone's got a life to live.
And I remember that top of $3.50 on this crap Ripple was exactly, I believe, the day that hedge fund manager and contributor or journalist or whatever on CNBC was live pumping it as he was unloading his own bags on live on CNBC. He was teaching people how you can buy Ripple while he was unloading his bags. And imagine he gets away with it, and he's not charged or anything. It's maybe as he was calling buy and advising people how to buy and to buy, it just crashed, tanked from then on.
Maybe we need more regulation then, so that can't happen.
That Daniel has a comment on my scarf. Absolutely, it does have that color, Daniel. Nothing wrong with your screen. In fact, your screen is showing the color fantastically. It is getting a little chilly here in LA, so wanting to make sure that I don't, having a sore throat. There's really nothing worse. Last time I did this for a week, it was just terrible pain. So I'm really trying to make sure that that I don't, and also just get flu in general. You don't want to have your body open to catching that stupid COVID stuff. That's not gonna be fun, probably. So, but back to you, Puppy. How's the IPA going?
Well, going well, man. This is a quiet afternoon here. Mondays are pretty nice because most people have been out on Friday and Saturday and Sunday. So when you come out on a Monday, it's nice and chill.
Where in the pub or on Bitcoin?
In the pub. Bitcoin's always a riot, but hey, when you come out on a Monday and get some time to yourself, have a few pints, and mess around on Bitcoin Twitter, or just do a little podcast like this. Well, what else do you need in life, man?
That's
I don't need a
right.
lot. Hey, yeah, Bitcoin at $100,000. Hell, you just get a little cabin in the woods and with a with a satellite connection, life is
And
good.
a shotgun, lots of shells. Ready
Yeah,
to protect your family
yeah,
legacy. I just make sure I don't have access to any noteworthy at all. Not
yeah.
that I hardly have any, but the little I do is tucked away far from me.
Mm.
So I'm not an interesting target. That's how I like to do it.
Hey,
Um,
so I know we've been reading the books, of course, and we got guests. We got their Gigi on Thursday. I haven't even cracked his book yet. Honestly, I need to. But so have you generated some questions for Mr. Booth? Have you generated
I
your
have.
own?
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I got some great info from Greggy, where he wants, as I recall it, he said
yeah,
it last week, where he wants to have more description from Jeff as we go from, the fiat monetary system to a Bitcoin standard, what that transition will look like. Personally, I wrote several questions for Jeff Booth here,
oh wow, yeah, you got it.
and yeah, I'm a little bit pinching myself here, Poppy. The fact that Jeff is coming on, and I just really don't want to mess it up. Like tomorrow is make or break for Toxic Happy Hour. Will we be called out for the unprepared Bitcoin non-existent agenda, or will it all collapse when a professional, intelligent
Yeah,
guy like Jeff Booth come up? We had intelligent guys before, and we're still here. We are getting more subscribers and the best bet in the space. So it looks like we're gonna pull through tomorrow. But I'm trying
yeah.
um, to be prepared. What about yourself? How much have you read of the book? What's left? You got some questions for Jeff Booth?
Yeah, no, I absolutely do have some questions. I think I got like 40 pages left, which yeah, no problem. I'll have that knocked out. Um, and what's funny is when you listen to thousands of hours of podcasts over a couple of years, because I listen to him all the time, him and Preston Pitt, all that. But I like to go back. So, and that's what I've done this week. I've gone back to listen to some of the prior podcasts after reading most of the book, and it really is interesting. It just generates a lot of questions for me. Things just like you say, you either want clarification on, or what I come up with. I have a couple questions that I don't think anyone has asked him yet that I think are worth asking, which will be interesting. So we'll see. But yeah,
Awesome. What's your big take on Jeff Booth and the price of tomorrow and deflation? Like what do you think? I mean, if there's anything you can kind of lift the veil for now, what do you
yeah.
really like about what he's saying?
Well, he does a great job. It's funny with all these books. It's interesting. Um, Many books, so let's identify the problem. So it's funny because most of the people that are in Bitcoin already know what the problem is. So the first quarter of the book reinforces everything you already believe, from the Federal Reserve, the printing of money. So um, that's yeah. What I find interesting is the cost change. Like he says, when you have that kind of deflation, um, uh, the thing I'm trying to think of is how does this transition happen? What is the most painless way for this transition? Because the transition has to happen. Is going from an agrarian culture to the big cities and industrialization. It's that kind of change in the world. And no, it's not easy. And some are ahead of the game, some are behind the game. But yeah, I'd like to just find more about his views on what that transition looks like, and how do you make it more painless or seamless on people. That's all.
Right. And historically, the transition from one global currency to another has always been filled with war, terrible economy, depression, recession, whatever, class struggles. But
Yeah,
as someone mentioned on, I believe it was Swan Signal, where I think it was George Gammon. I'm not endorsing him here, but I believe it was him and Seyfedin Ammous. And one of them mentioned that the difference this time is that Bitcoin already is there as the alternative. So we
yeah,
may not need to go through the Third World War and a depression because people can just easily transition to the new better money, which I
yeah,
believe is a really good point. And so what you got to be careful with, what people should think about is the longer you wait in moving
yeah,
from dirty fiat to the Bitcoin standard, whatever you have of value in dirty fiat will be wiped out. That those savings you're gonna lose, and that's why I always end the show saying don't allocate more to dirty fiat than you
yeah,
can afford to lose, because that's, in my opinion, will happen. And that's why Bitcoin is, uh, the sooner you make that move, in my opinion, the safer your savings are. I know we do have a back end, and both of us need to finish reading the book and prepare for tomorrow.
yeah,
But to second what you said, going through the first part of the book, a lot of it is stuff that we're already thinking about
yeah,
as Bitcoiners. So it's like yes,
yeah,
yes, yes, kind of reinforces that. It's hard
yep,
to think differently how the fiat money printing world works. Then when he starts talking about AI and
yeah,
localized 3D printing, the
yep,
future of energy,
yeah,
all of it, I feel it really takes off and become like super
yep,
interesting. I really
yeah,
love,
it's up,
and
yeah,
it, you know, it's I always use as an argument when people say Bitcoin is just wasting energy with all this mining that is securing, the Bitcoin as money and against being hacked. As
yeah,
Donvay says, yeah, but give us a better alternative than the crappy fiat currency we have currently. But they don't. And if you look at the energy spent by the banking sector around the world,
yeah,
it's definitely, no doubt, way more. As Jeff Booth says, when he touches on the future of energy, and what I'm saying to these people criticizing Bitcoin for using energy,
mhm,
marginal energy production today, which means new energy production today, is all
yep,
coming from solar, because finally the cost of kilowatt hours coming from solar, with
yeah,
new solar power plants, panels being put out there, has
yeah,
now gone below even the maintenance, I believe, or definitely new
yeah,
fossil fuel power generation. So since marginal energy production today is solar, um, it's not really a problem where the energy comes from, because any new is coming from something that is renewable and not polluting. And also, well, what he focuses on, Jeff Booth, is how it's just going to get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper, which is true. So it's going to change a lot of things, like
yeah,
um, coastal communities that don't maybe not necessarily have enough drinking water, since converting salt water into drinkable water is
yeah,
really today limited because of costly energy. That's going to be possible. It's probably going to be possible to well water in dry countries that have drought and famine, to pump that water up, because the energy to do so is going to be cheap. So that's
yeah.
going to be a great thing in the world in general.
Yeah, it's a good rehash. He goes deep into Moore's law and how quickly, the what almost like every 2 years, TikTok just doubles and doubles. I loved, and I heard it on one of his podcasts, and it's still unbelievable to me when you can't fold if you fold a piece of paper. It's theoretically it's possible, but if you fold it 50 times, it reaches to the sun. I just my mind is still blown by that, and that's the speed at which technology can change. This is quite an eye opener, man. Great book, obviously. Looking
Wait, so
forward to
that
it.
that was if you fold a piece of paper, right?
Yep.
If you fold a piece of paper 50 times, and this is the power of, well, compound interest or
Yeah.
parabolic
Yeah.
increase of anything, it
Yeah.
will reach the sun.
So yes. So the physically you get stopped
I
at
don't know if you can
7.
see what. Sorry to
No.
interrupt you, Puppy. I don't know if you can see what's on the
No.
screen. I'm only
No. So
interrupt. You can't. Well, Bitcoin Cam
no.
is saying Puppy is such a beauty. Um,
Yeah.
so there is it. There it is. It's finally said. It's out in the
Oh.
open, Puppy. And back to your statement.
Oh, right. So I believe from the book, but I guess physically 7 times is the most you could ever fold it on itself. At 33 times, I think there's one example. It says 33 times would take you from Boston to Detroit. Okay, so so with only 17 more folds, you go from there to the sun. It's absolutely mind blowing when you think of the implications when it comes to technology getting faster, but all you just that exponential increase, it's mind blowing. Or the story about the chess player or the guy that invents chess in India, and he has to put a piece of rice on each square, but double each square. and once the king found out he's been had, he has the inventor executed. Brilliant.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
again the same concept of
Yeah.
logarithmic or compound interest or this like constant improvement of something.
Yeah.
It will reach a level that is mind-blowing and hard for the human mind to understand. We often overestimate the near term but underestimate the long term.
Yeah.
Just to highlight it, so the guy who invented chess in India was asked by the king, how do you want a reward? And he said, one piece of rice in the first square, and for each square just double it. And by the time you threw the whole chessboard, I believe it was
64
more.
squares.
Was it 1,000 years of rice production or something in the world?
Well, I don't know how many kilotons it was, but yeah, I mean when you double something 64 times, you're getting somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. So what else is going on?
Oh,
It's so
isn't
easy for
it?
me. I
Isn't it?
just asked you.
Yeah. Well, that's hey man, we're all just sitting here watching 19,000. You know,
Yeah,
get on Twitter, mess around a bit, check the price, check the price of crypto. What's crypto doing today?
yeah. So it's yeah. As you mentioned earlier, we're just sitting at 19,000 now for a long time. And
Yeah.
as I have been saying, I think a long time ago in one of our early episodes of Toxic Happy Hour, there is gold back there for sure. Not from me, but mainly from you. But anyways,
Yeah.
um, I remember talking about how November in 18, the price came from above. This was in the bear market. It was around 6,000 for 2 months, quite stable.
Yeah.
And then it crashed down to the bear market capitulation bottom of 3,100. I think it was $20
Yeah.
on Bitstamp. So when you're at the same level for a long time, wherever you're coming from, you're just working through a wall of either buys or
Yeah.
sells, and eventually it breaks down in the direction you were going. And right now, we came from below. This is a bull market, and we're working our way through 19,000, and probably it's going to break violently to the
Yeah.
upside. It's a matter of when, but we haven't been here for 2 months yet. I believe we only reached 19,000 at the end of November. Each day in Bitcoin
Oh
just
yeah.
seems like months, right? It feels like we've been here forever, but it may only be 7 days, 1 week, 10 days. I
Yeah.
honestly can't really remember.
Yeah. And that's what I'm laughing at. Think of this. When you think back to early summer, we're at $7,000, $8,000. Are you kidding me? And people are complaining at 19,000. Do something.
Right. Quick. You know what? My challenge here is, as more and more
I
people,
know.
since we have the best chat in this space and it is
Yeah.
growing, and I'm looking at it, looking for cool things, fun things to put
Oh,
on the screen.
hey,
Sometimes I'm not claiming I can multitask.
no,
So
no, I'm with you.
if you had a question for me, if you can repeat it, and at the same time, I'll just
No,
gonna once again try and multitask and see how long time we've been at 19,000. What was your
no,
question?
no, no, Lefty. Hey, I see Grassmaster in the chat room. And yeah, he's out of Munich, I believe. He's open about that. I got to stop into Germany and have a beer one time. Got to go
Right.
to. We got to. Hey, when it moons, Oktoberfest, baby. We got to do an Oktoberfest.
You and I are going to Oktoberfest when it
Yeah.
moons.
Yep.
So what is your definition of moon, puppy?
Oh, for me, $1 million is a moon. Okay, look, 500,000. I'll give you that. But the moon for anyone that started at that high, that's a moon for
Right.
me.
I guess moon target does change over time because in 2017 the year started at $1,000. 20,000
Yep.
definitely was moon. Now
Yep.
20,000 is nothing more
Yeah.
than base level. This is
Yeah.
what is it called? Base camp.
Yeah.
Moon to me is in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, to be honest, I think
No.
$100,000. That's where the moon starts. That's where we start touching it.
It's only
Um,
five. It's only $100,000, dude. It's only a 5x from 2017.
I know. It's a
Okay.
small
So
moon.
this
It's a
is
small moon. It's
that's a
planet
baby.
size.
Yeah.
Well, that is not a moon. It's a
Yeah.
planet. But, so to me, yeah, moon starts
Yep.
at 6 digits, 100,000, and Mars, which I say moon and then I say Mars. Mars being the outrageous number. That's when we reach
No.
the 1 million and above.
Oh.
And by
So
the way,
yeah.
Grassmaster is
Yeah.
saying Oktoberfest will be closed this year. Plan Marcus finally found the red balloon in the chat, which is just amazing that it's possible each time. He must really be looking well. Over to you,
Yeah.
puppy.
No. Yeah. Grassmaster. Thanks for joining the show, man. I love our interaction on Twitter there. Yeah. What's he? Oh man, I'm trying to get rid of. Yeah, it's hard doing this on the phone, man, and scrolling down. No. So
Yeah.
Look, $100,000 is the big party, right? It's the Michael Saylor yacht party or whatever party he's going to throw. The 100,000 at 100,000, yeah, that's moon for many people. Even at 5x, most will take that as a moon. So I'll give you that. I mean, when you hit 6 digits, absolutely major. So yeah, we'll say $100,000, a nice little moon, but from there it goes to 250, 288, as Plan B would say, somewhere in that range, easily. Yeah, at the end of the day, what I got nothing going on, man. I'm just kicking it. I'm just kicking on Twitter and talking to you, man. Drinking beer and
I can't
holding
believe
my Bitcoin.
that our 2 years of phone conversation actually kind of works out a little bit with this toxic happy hour. It's great just to talk with you, puppy. And
We do.
some people will claim that it's because then I can get more talk time than when I ask questions and try and focus on guests. Dropping
Yeah,
their knowledge. But yeah, it's always fun to chat with you. That's what I found it for a couple
yeah,
of years now. What I'll say about the $100,000 party is, to me, that is more of the launch pad party. The
yes,
$100,000 is not
yes.
the end game in this bull run. That's the launch pad to what
For
I'm now.
the $1 million coin party.
Well, it's like in this bull run, no doubt, in my opinion, we'll cross that 100,000 sometime
Yeah,
second half of next year. But it's the launch to a price that is going to go above 300,000 again, in my opinion. Because if I don't add that, I could be sued for financial advice,
what?
in my opinion. And I think $400,000 and $500,000 per Bitcoin first half of 2022 absolutely is on the table. And my bet is with you and Greggy is looking less likely to win.
Oh,
But I make sure I make bets where if I lose, at least I'll be in a good situation with the price of Bitcoin.
wait. Hey, we'll be eating well and drinking well if you lose, for sure.
Yes.
But hey, that's a listen. We got to table that discussion. as well, not the discussion totally, but we got to ask Jeff his thoughts on that, on the pullback. So remember that question, his thoughts on the pullback, and how
Yes.
stupid you were for making the bet.
Right. Was it John Vallis that, again, pardon my second language, immigrant language skills here, but was it Vallis that didn't really want to say if he believed there will be a pullback or not, right? I think he very
Yeah,
politely, I tried
yeah,
different ways to get an answer out of him. Like, first
yeah,
asking about the bet, he didn't want to answer that. And then I just asked if he believed there was going to be a pullback and how big it was.
yeah.
But he was smart enough to know I was just trying to get an answer out of him.
Do you know why he's a professional, dude? He's got a real podcast, not just a couple dumbasses talking Bitcoin.
Him and
Yeah,
Daniel Prince, they
yeah,
both run real podcasts.
yeah,
Unlike this pop show
yeah.
with yeah, it's a shame you couldn't get this specific spot when Brady was on Friday with the Kansas. What do they call Kansas City Hawks or
No, no,
something?
no, no. Fucking dangerous guy. So they're from they're not from the state of Kansas. Their college basketball team are called the Jayhawks, and they're quite good. Yeah,
Yeah, you don't have to pay attention to when I do this. This is more to highlight some remarks to
yeah.
our toxic chat, best chat in the space.
But,
But yeah, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
oh no, just say getting to a time that I got to start winding it up.
Yeah, it's 10
And
past.
yeah,
Apologies from the late start.
thanks, Anders.
I didn't know Bunby was playing today. If we had won, we would have been number one in the league on the table. Season ends next year. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
we lost. We got one man, got a double yellow, so he got a red, and left the pitch, and then we end up losing 3-1, which is hard. But as a fan, you gotta go there and stay there through the thick and the thin.
yeah,
You gotta support also in the bad times. But hey, Poppy,
yep,
it was really great to have a one-on-one with you once again. And honestly, looking at the
yeah,
view
man.
numbers and the chat, it seems people don't really mind it, which is great.
Yeah,
So on my schedule for the rest of the day, uh,
yeah,
finish this one, but it's gotten at a level where it's really, really, really interesting and a great, very enlightening read. So I'm excited about having Jeff Booth on tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pacific time, 2 p.m. Florida time,
yeah.
Eastern time. I need to go through my questions, maybe share them with Jeff before, and um, and what's your plans for the rest of the day apart from finishing the book?
Oh, that's it. Well, yeah, it's already after 4 o'clock here, so it's mostly wind down, get home, gotta finish up some reading, have some dinner, early night. Yeah, get back on Bitcoin Twitter, mix it up in there with the rest of the cool plebes.
Yeah, all great memers, most
Yeah,
participating in the chat as well. Thank
yeah,
you guys out there
yeah, man.
for watching and interacting. As I told Poppy the other day, and our little DM on Twitter with all you great memers. We Toxic Happy is more of a party than it is a podcast. We like to just make it a fun time here for everyone watching and participating in the chat. And I have a fun time myself. I love talking Bitcoin with Poppy. Done it for 2 years, and putting it online is just great because we get to have the conversation with even more people in the chat. So do you have any final words, or were they those the final words before I sign us out here, Poppy? Any
No,
final words, or was
no,
that it?
no, I absolutely agree. Look, don't come here for any technical analysis or a lot of behind the scenes skills about Bitcoin. We love Bitcoin, we buy Bitcoin, and we talk about Bitcoin. That's it. I'll never sell until at least $1 million.
Oh,
Anyway,
that's the conversation we're gonna have on the next one-on-one about the selling, never selling Bitcoin, because I claim that there will be no other money. So it's you won't be selling it, but you'll be using it to buy, because it's the only thing you can't buy stuff with. But thank you for the final words. Great to see you today, Poppy. Love our conversations. Love the chat. All you guys out there. And final words, signing out as usual, is a warning about not storing too much value in dirty fiat, because it has a built-in policy of losing all of its value over time. So really be careful with the dirty fiat, which is US dollar, euro, yuan, whatever they call it out there, rubles. Careful with that. And on that note, see you guys in the next one. And tomorrow, Jeff Booth, 11 a.m. Pacific.
Perfect.
Bye for now.
Ciao.